Good morrow, good people. It's your girl, Queen Rhaenyra the Cruel. No, Rhaenyra the Benevolent. Let's put positive things into the atmosphere. Back for another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I am not here alone. I am joined by my amazing Lord Hand, cool ass Kyron, aka Kyron the Cool.
I
How
love
are
it.
you, Rich?
I'm doing well. I'm doing that well. Named by my queen. Couldn't ask for a better name. Doing well. Good to see you. Good to see your smiling face.
For
That
sure.
beautiful face. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what I mean. Blonde hair popping with the glasses. Obviously, you know if you've been with us every week, we still rocking the black. Ain't nothing changed over here.
Yeah,
We ain't switching up like Damon switched up on Sir William Blackwood. But
bruh.
we'll talk about that throughout this episode. But it is good to be here with you, Rachel. Back for another week. You
It's
know
good
how
to
I feel about these. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was no, it's good to see you, and I'm excited. It's the penultimate episode, which is your judge.
You know how I feel about these penultimate episodes, and I was not disappointed. We'll get into your opening thoughts and what you thought about the episode. But before we do, just a little housekeeping. If you are new to We Got Y'all, we appreciate y'all for checking us out. This is a television podcast where we really just discuss the show or each episode. Not really any kind of order or structure. We just like to talk about it. It all makes sense at the end of the day. We are covering obviously House of the Dragon season 2. For those of you out there who are into the books and deep into the world, we do not get that heavy into it. We will sprinkle some things in if they come across our page, but other than that, we usually stick to the show itself. So it's not too complicated. I know there are other podcasts that go a little bit deeper. There will be spoilers and explicit content. We're discussing episode 7, The Red Sowing, directed by Lonnie Perister, written by David Hancock. The show is streaming on Max and obviously inspired based on the book Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. Synopsis for this week's episode: the war for the Iron Throne escalates, and Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, in a crucial gamble, is prepared to risk everything in her urgent quest for dragon riders. Rachel, we were talking briefly before we started recording, like literally right before we hit play, because we were like, okay, let's go ahead and get this on wax. Second highest rated episode of the series.
Y'all got me
Okay.
fucked. Okay, go
Second,
ahead.
second highest rated episode of the series. Obviously, only stands behind the Dragon and the Gold. I'm sorry. I take that back. Second highest rated episode of the season.
Okay.
There were 2 episodes in season 1 that rank higher than this, but this is right there. Sounds like you're not necessarily the biggest fan. What were your opening thoughts of this week's episode?
Bruh. I can't before I even get there, I can't believe y'all rated this higher than last week's episode. Last week was the worst, right? Or the week before?
Last week was the worst by a large margin. Like, it's not like Rachel, you would think you were looking at a whole different series when you look at the
No, that's
ratings
crazy.
compared to last week's.
I did see a lot of fanfare on the Bird app about this episode. However, it took me a few tries to even pay attention to it. I was not engulfed in this episode the way that I have been in the previous 6 episodes. And it's not for lack of action, but I just was not into this episode. So I did not love it. For it to be the highest rated of the season, essentially, I'm giving this episode like a 6. Like it was
Mm,
good. It wasn't all that.
mm.
Like, I don't need to
Now,
read this again after we record. Everything else
I
we watched and like, oh, I could have said this, could have said that. I'm not doing that shit for this.
I love it. I love it. So here's the thing about these user ratings, right?
Hmm.
Just a wide a wide display of just different people, different preferences, and the whole nine. So it's hard to take full value on them.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the second highest rated of the season. It got
Hmm.
a 9.1, which is very high compared to last week's episode. Rachel, take a guess what you think last week's episode was. What was it? What was it rated by the user or by the viewers?
5.5.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. It was 6.2.
6.
But it might as well be a 5.5
Mhm.
based on I don't think there's an episode lower than a 7.
Got it.
in
Okay.
House of the Dragon. You know what I mean? So it stands out. Um, Outside of that episode, the next lowest rated was a 7.4 for this season. And if
Okay.
we look at season one, nothing got lower than an 8. Like
Interesting.
8.3 was the lowest in season one. So it, like I said, it stands out, which I think is a little crazy. We're talking about small folk, but I don't think this one was a 9.1. I did enjoy it. It did not have the penultimate fire, no pun intended, that I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Hmm.
It was a great, it was a great, I don't even know if I want to call it a setup episode because it did a lot of setting up, but it also felt like it could have happened in episode 4.
Yes.
You know what I
It's
mean? Like I, for us to only have one episode after the events of today, like if this was episode 6
six.
and we
Hmm.
had 2 more after it, bet
Yeah.
I'm with it. You move
Mhm.
small folk back 1 to 5, you make this 6, and then we got 2 to wrap up the season after we know Rhaenyra got these dragons.
Yeah.
I'm with that. It was dark, it was dreary. I guess that's no different from the rest of the House of the Dragon episodes, but
Hmm.
there was something about it where, and maybe that's the fault of my own expectation, where I'm like, all right, what's coming, what's coming, what's coming,
Hmm.
and it just never came. It was exciting. I enjoyed it. I don't want anyone to take away that I didn't enjoy it. I might have just was looking for a little bit more. And I'm trying to think. Last year's penultimate episode was what, the Green Council,
Yes.
which was a. I think that was a better episode than this one.
For
If
sure.
those for those who remember that episode, so not to shit on House of the Dragon, I think that's not the case here. Obviously, House of the Dragon is better than a large majority of television,
For sure.
right now. I don't know if it was 9.1 worthy, but still a good episode nonetheless.
I would have even been satisfied if you'd have been like, okay, users gave it a 7.5. A 9? Y'all are crazy. But
Definitely above 7.5.
okay,
It's in the eights. It's in the eights. It's in the eights. I'm not
eight,
putting it in the nines.
8 2.
But you know what it is, Rachel. You know what it is. People love seeing dragons on screen for extended amount of time. If you have dragons for an extended amount of time in your episode, we started the episode with dragons, we ended the episodes with dragons. The
Mhm.
premise was about finding dragon riders. I think the I don't want to say basic fans, but for lack of better terms, the basic slash average fans are just looking for it for that. They're never going to read a book. They're never going to Google anything. They're not going to get any of these characters' names right. They
Yeah.
just want to see the dragons and what they do.
Bless that.
Yeah.
Bless that. Well, enough
Speaking
on.
of,
Go
I was
ahead.
about to say real quick. Speaking of viewers, um, not to segue from basic viewers, but to the real fans, I did
Okay.
want to shout out Mia, because Mia did leave us a couple comments on the last 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So 2 weeks ago, so this would have been episode, it might have been Small Folk. It must have been Small Folk.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote a comment, love this conversation. If you haven't looked into, excuse me, if you haven't, look into Cregan Stark and the role he's going to play in all of this. I haven't looked it up. I'm still trying to save some of that stuff.
I know he's in next week's episode. I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, then. So apparently he plays a role in this whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
according to Mia. And then for last week's episode, she commented, "You guys are amazing. Once
Oh,
again, super entertaining and hilarious in all caps episode. And I won't ruin the name of the wild dragon, but it's very much on the nose. So I guess our guesses were in the ballpark, and I'll take that. As someone who doesn't read the books, I'll take that.
okay. Damn, now I
But
gotta think. Okay.
yeah, I was hoping we had all these dragons. I was hoping Raina finally, I was hoping Niece finally got her dragon, but we'll
Oh,
see.
I wholeheartedly believe she claims this stray dragon.
Yeah,
I
this
thought,
wild dragon. Yeah,
yeah, definitely stray.
yeah, straight.
Shout out to that.
uh,
You
let's
ready
go
to
ahead
get?
and get into the episode. Yeah, you silly as hell.
Let's start with the beginning of the episode because, as you know, it was a cliffhanger last week. We know that Sea Smoke has a rider, and as we all knew, much to Queen Rhaenyra's chagrin, it is Adam of Hull, Lord Corliss's bastard. when she comes upon him, like on the beach or whatever they were, I wish that there was a way for us to know what the fuck Sea Smoke and Cyrax were saying to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know. Or Caraxes. Is that her dragon? Is her dragon
Caraxes,
Cyrax?
yeah. No, Cyrax. Caraxes is Damon's dragon.
It's Damon's dragon. Okay. I would love to know what they were saying because I feel like Sea Smoke was gagging. Like, I got a new nigga. Got a new nigga. Fuck what she was talking about with Lord Draklin, but whatever. But Adam immediately bends the knee, which I appreciated. And I like the speech that he gave to Rhaenyra, like, hey, I wasn't going looking for this dragon. He came and found me.
Yeah.
I was doing my big one for my father, that you don't know is my father. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are. And so she says, for someone who came up so well, you bow easily. Hey, I'm just here to serve. I'm used to being in servitude. It is what it is to my queen. When she asked of his parentage, she mentioned the father. What did you think of him not revealing that he's Corliss's bastard?
I think
That
that's
was
the way of the bastard.
crazy.
Yeah, I think that's the way of the bastards. I think they know not to acknowledge who their parents are, especially if they're lords and ladies and
Hmm.
high folk.
Yeah, highborn.
I think that yeah, highborn. I think it's custom. Don't speak my name, bro. Like I don't even acknowledge you as my son. So if somebody was to come to me, I'm gonna deny it. I took it as that because he doesn't owe him anything.
Yeah.
But we also know he is yearning for his affection, unlike Alan. And
Hmm.
Alan had that talk with him, like,
We'll
bro,
speak
like
of
you,
this, even though he won't admit it. Hmm.
yeah. So it is, a very clever. I found that very interesting. They did that on purpose.
Hmm.
We'll see when it's revealed, because obviously the big reveal will be that he is actually Lord Corliss's son. We
Yes.
know it, but I'm
And
talking
that's
about
true
to Queen
Valerian
Rhaenyra.
bullet.
Exactly. And I love what you said about Adam. Listen, I wasn't searching for power. I'm not Damon. I'm not your husband, uncle. I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for this power. It came and found me. Who am I to abuse it? Of course I'm
Right.
gonna bend the knee. And I am lowborn. Like I am small folk. Like I don't even know how this works. So what
Yeah.
other option do I have but to bend my knee
Yeah.
to you? You know what I mean? Like I don't want no smoke. I'm trying to be gang. I'm
Period.
just trying to be gang. See
Period.
smoke, I guess, is the only smoke he wants, but that's all I want. I'm not gonna abuse the power, but I definitely had in my notes written, like, no knowledge of my family, huh? My mother was a shipwright, and that's about it.
I was expecting a little bit. Obviously, Rhaenyra is not Rhaenys, and she ain't laid up with Corlys, but you see Corlys every day.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was a little glint in her eye, like you look a little familiar, or like somebody I could know. And shout out to the casting because I do think both Alan and Adam look like they could be kin to Corlys.
Absolutely.
So I'm waiting for Rhaenyra. I wonder if it's revealed, like, hey, low key, this my son.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, Rhaenys knew, or if she figures it out. You know what I'm saying? I like not to jump around. I like that Mysteria was like, bitch, your fucked up ass family is all everybody's a Targaryen bastard. What are we talking about here?
Listen,
I enjoyed that, but I'm very curious to know how it is revealed of Alan and Adam's parentage, essentially. Corliss ain't no.
which makes me think that, hey, listen, hold on. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about
Yeah,
that real quick.
yeah.
Lord Corliss goes in to see Adam.
Hmm.
Look at how you come up in the world. My lord. Like you calling me my lord. Look at you.
Right.
You the
You the
nigga with
one.
the big. Yeah. You the one. Like you feel me? So like you that came up. I want to leave. Obviously, he puts those two fingers up. Like yeah, your leave is granted. All right, my nigga. Like you got some power. You got some leverage. Like I'm just gonna say that. Stares him down. Says well done.
I
Um,
wrote
and
down
then
Corliss
obviously.
geeked. He was secretly geeked.
secretly geek though, right? That's why he said the well done. That well done was the equivalent of a parade.
For sure.
Like Adam's never gotten anything like he's never even
He's
gotten
never gotten a
acknowledgement.
hello.
Yeah. So for him to say, he obviously didn't address him as son, and it's
Mm.
very interesting how the relationship. And what do you think? Let me ask you: do you think it's because Alan saved his life, which is why he's a little bit more open? Does he see Alan as a more serious person? Shout out to Logan Roy. Um, because
Well,
who did he was he talking to Alan when he talked about I didn't know much about your mom, most niggas.
yeah,
Um,
Alan.
yeah. So what do you think about that whole? Why does he revere, or I guess show a little bit more respect to Alan compared to Adam?
So I initially thought Alan was older, but I'm understanding that maybe Adam is older, which is
Hmm.
tricky. But I think to your point, Adam is not working on the ships. Alan is on the ship. And again, he pulled him and saved his life. I gave you yours and you saved mine. So there is a level of respect no matter how high or low born. If I am a man of dignity, the way that I say I am, the way that I've been carrying, I have to fuck with you in some capacity. I have to revere you. I would not be here. I would not be alive. I would not be Lord Hand, be it not for you saving my life. I would not have had those quote unquote final ish, because the final moment with Renice wasn't that great, but the final moments leading up with my wife, be it not for you saving my life. And again, Alan is of Salton Sea. Hmm. I got
You No, you're absolutely right. And I was just looking up the family tree.
mm-hmm.
Adam is older
Mm-hmm.
than Alan,
Okay.
so you are right about that. I just happened to see who Alan ends up marrying, which is wild. Not wild, but just interesting stuff.
Oh Lord.
Um, yeah, just the family that he ends up marrying. But yeah, that's a great point that you make, Rachel. I wouldn't be here because of you if it
Yeah.
wasn't for you. So yeah, I do have to show you a little bit more respect. And everybody in this town know you my little nigga. Like you my son.
He looked just like this nigga.
Yeah.
It again, I don't know why Rhaenyra, she got too much, her mind is in such bad shape. She couldn't put it together just yet. Because if you ain't even got to close one eye and squinting with the other. He looks like this nigga.
He does.
Somebody had tweeted like C Smoke thought he was Lenore. No, he didn't. He know these is two different niggas, but he recognizes
Yeah.
it's the same blood.
That's a hold on, time out. That's a discredit to Sea Smoke. Like these dragons, like, come on now. These dragons know what's going on. That's like some of your cousin coming up to you and you not recognizing that's your cousin, or you thinking that
Right.
it's nah, like you know who your people are.
And you cannot, if your rider is still alive, you can't ride with them unless you're with who they're bonded to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Rain ass almost got burnt up. Nisa not, bloodline or not, you ain't my rider. He is
Mm-hmm.
still out there somewhere. So that is why I do think, I don't know if that's a spoiler, but Lenore is probably dead somewhere because otherwise Sea Smoke would not have bonded with someone else.
Right. And not to mention, well, not in this regard, but you just mentioned it about Alan saying that I'm a Salt and Sea. Like
Hmm.
that's what I do. I don't have any desire to be a dragon rider, none of that stuff.
Yeah,
And there was almost a small smirk from Corliss after he said that.
yeah,
Like, oh damn, that's my son. Like
that's it.
maybe if
This
I
is
was
what I've
able to
been wanting.
if I could legitimize him, then
Hmm.
maybe he can be my heir. Like you see that going through his head right there. Like that nigga, hey, that that nigga was sounding like Zeke McCall and loving basketball talking about some, yeah, I don't know much about your mama, but you're like, come on, man, stop playing.
Alan is the son that Lord Corliss has always wanted. This is a
And had.
strong, astute, upright man who doesn't lay with other men. No shade to the LGBTQIA. I am an ally. I'm just saying 100 AC, whatever year this
Yeah,
is.
in the world
Corliss,
of House of the Dragon, yeah.
yeah, Corliss ain't fuck with that. He was in denial about it. Hence, agreeing to even marry him to Rhaenyra when Rhaenys told his ass, you know how your son is, don't trip. So here is my opportunity now to have a son more like me. Again, Laenor, he was of blood and fire too. He wasn't of
Mm-hmm.
salt and sea.
Right.
Lena wasn't of salt and sea. Bela ain't of salt and sea. The only person left of salt and sea not named Corliss or Alan is Alan, because Vaemon is
Yeah.
dead. There's
Yeah.
nobody else.
Yep. You're
I have
absolutely right.
to respect you. I have to take a liking to you at this point. And I know that you're my son. Come on, dog.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And it's funny because that when you just talking about Corliss,
Mm-hmm.
um, well said. Obviously, we're speaking in the world of House of the Dragon, not in our world that we exist in. But it reminded me of season 1 when Allison, I think it was Allison that told Laner, like, keep trying. Maybe one of these kids will look
What
like
it
you,
needs to
bro.
be
Like we,
yours.
yeah, like we know what's up. Like, stop playing. Like, stop
Alan,
playing.
man, Lenore said, it ain't like I haven't tried to lay with Rhaenyra. I just don't want no fucking pussy. I don't
And I'm
like
not.
it. I don't like the way. I don't want to kick it with you, stay with your nut.
Not a nigga say, ew.
Ew. But it's crazy because damn, bring your partner in here. Let us get to the place. Do what you gotta do so that
Yeah,
these
and the
whatever.
duty of the realm, man. You gotta make it happen. Like
Do
you
what
ain't
you
gotta
gotta
enjoy it. You ain't gotta do it all the time. Like that, they came up with their own agreement.
do. Right.
Listen, all right, we know what it is.
Mhm.
Um,
That's still going on.
very. Let me just shut up.
Let's
Um,
move to the next scene.
yeah, man. What you want to talk about, man? You about to they about to pull this shit off YouTube ASAP. Like niggas, cut these
Right.
niggas mics off.
Right. Okay, my bad.
What you want to talk about next?
Talk about Allison, and because we didn't really talk about it last week, but I don't have shit else to say about Allison. But in her opening, the Grand Maester was cleaning her wound. We didn't say it last week, but she was cut when she was attacked by the small folks in the same place she cut Rhaenyra. So I thought that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly
Always comes back around.
it always comes back around. She wants to go on vacation. She's gone. She's baptizing herself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. That's all. She's
Yeah.
struggling with the fact that all of this shit is her fault. Okay, enough of her.
Do you think? Well, real quick, and
Mhm.
we don't have to speak on Allison. I just want to ask you this: do you think it's because you think she's feel that all of this is her fault, or do you think that I've given up so much? I've done everything that was asked of me when I was brought here to court as a
Mhm.
child, and now I'm not even in the circle of my own council of a place that I ran. Do you think she's more like, oh, I don't even have no place here? All of this was for what?
I think two things can be true.
Got you. Fair enough. Yeah, there's nothing really else to say about Allison. You covered it all. She's a nature. She's questioning if she's even coming back. So Rickard, like my nigga,
I want to go home.
I want to go
I
home.
go
Like
home.
Jaden Smith and Karate Kid. Nigga, I hate it here.
I
I want to go
here.
home.
Yeah.
That nigga cutting up blood and guts. Like, nah, nigga, look, get me back for a proper supper.
Right.
Stop playing with me.
Out here with this fucking rabbit.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with it.
To your point, just briefly, I do think that she does feel some kind of way. Like she said it last week in her conversation with Gwen. I've done everything that was asked of me. Like I thought I was serving this and the third, but also consider her conversation with Rhaenyra in the secret sept. I don't think she's ever truly come back from the realization when Rhaenyra was like, bitch, he was talking about the conqueror, not your feckless ass son.
Mm-hmm.
And had Allison's own ambitions, because be real, these are your own ambitions, not gotten in the way. Even if she didn't know that Viserys was talking about Aegon the Conqueror, you knew he didn't want your son to be the king. You knew that.
Allison is the LeVar Ball of Westeros. Like she was gonna make sure her kids got on regardless. Like she's not
Yeah.
taking no for it. Like she's making sure her dream is gonna be fulfilled by her children, whether they
Hmm.
were worthy or not.
Yeah.
Like, we gonna make this happen one way or another. We gonna be in your face about it. Like
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Who cares? This is what it is.
But
You're
now
absolutely
look,
right.
now look, Luke dead, Aegon damn near dead, so we thought. Aemon is a
No
maniac.
control. No control over your sons.
No control. You've been betrayed by Laris, who you were showing your feet to.
You
Kristen,
gotta ask. My fault. You gotta ask your brother about your other son because he knows him more than you do.
and he don't even fuck with you. The only good
Hmm.
child you got wasn't raised by you. You got Helena. She done got her son, young Jaharis, chopped up. All of this is your fault. Even if you believed, I talked about it maybe episode 2, how Otto and them were still planning to usurp the throne, but at least her hands would have been clean in it.
Hmm.
Now your hands not clean, boo, because you have to admit the fact. One, shout out to this cut. Now they see you for who you really are, and your own true intentions have come about. Now it's a war. Used to be my dog. He was in my left titty, Allison.
Screaming ride or
Bloodshed.
die.
Now it's a famine in the land because y'all ain't got no food. Ha ha. It is what it
Hmm.
is.
Now you the
So
queen of fishes.
now you're the queen of fishes.
It's like Robert McCall, Equalizer. I don't know if I've said this before on House of the Dragon, but I forget which Equalizer it was. But he had the quote: "When you pray for the rain, you gotta deal with the mud too." That's
Oh, that might be
that's
two.
what that might be the second one. Yeah, when you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too. Allison, this is the mud.
It's the mud.
This is
And
the
it's
mud.
motherfucker. It's
You
muddy as
you this is what you asked for.
hell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. Let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about we talk about feet picks. So let's go ahead and chop it up with
Yeah.
Lars, excuse me. He's talking to Jasper Ironrod Wild,
Which we've been trying to figure
and
out Lord Jasper name all season.
yeah, with that nigga Iron Rod. I'm not calling it for all these names. How does nigga get a name like Iron Rod? That sounds like a Will Ferrell name in fucking Talladega Nights or some shit.
Man,
Like
I
Iron Rod is just some wrestling nickname. But either way, he comes to Lord Lars on some. I heard
street.
C Smoke had a rider.
Mm-hmm.
Streets is talking. Niggas is gossiping. C Smoke has a rider. We don't know who it is. You're the master of whispers. Like, I got a big, this is big. I don't know what I should do with it. I want to give it to you. Do you want to tell Amen? So I keep that in my back pocket, maybe elevate myself. He's looking for some game. And then Laris asked him an important question. Where'd you hear this from? And obviously, my sister-in-law, baby cousin Tracy,
Mm-hmm.
told me that she saw Sea Smoke and some unknown person. And Laris, what I want to ask you
It's probably the
is
same question I got for you.
okay. So is Laris looking at this from the sense of that's too many degrees of separation? We don't have enough factual evidence to even pinpoint who actually saw the person to
Mm-hmm.
bring this to the Prince Regent, or is Laris on some? I don't want this nigga having any kind of upper hand on what Team Black is doing. Let him
Yeah,
find out like the rest of the people. Which one do you think was his play?
that is exactly the question I was going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even not wanting Eamon to have the upper hand on Black, but not wanting Jasper to have it, or to be like, oh, Jasper knew. Or does he not trust Jasper's sources? Because if I ain't heard it and I got all the whispers, how the fuck yo people hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn between all of those things. And that's what I wanted to ask you. We know that Lord Laris is the master of whisperers. We know that he knows what's going on in the Red Keep and beyond. He knew all the shit about Raina and Sea Smoke previously. I was wondering if it was Sea Smoke who she tried to bond with. Um, a part of me doesn't believe that he truly, truly believed it, because who else would it be?
That's the part.
That's the part. And because of the blood of the dragon, and prior to Rhaenyra and Jace coming up with this cockamamie idea, no one would dare let a layperson near the dragons, other
Hmm.
than the workers. So I think there's a little bit of everything that we're thinking, because Laris can't be trusted regardless.
You you laid it out perfectly, Rachel. You're absolutely right. One thing we have to remember about this episode, and even going back to last week, this is unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Rhaenyra, the first scene when she pulled up on Adam,
Mm-hmm.
like, you've done something that I feared was impossible.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could do this. Laris is probably in his head thinking, like, all right, well, I know little ass Joffrey ain't on the dragon. Like, I'm trying to think of who was even
Not big ass
eligible.
sea smoke. Right.
Yeah, like, I don't even know who they got on their side that doesn't have a dragon already that will be able to ride. And we
Mm-hmm.
know it's nobody on our team. So that's a little bit questionable. I also know that Aemon doesn't fuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
So your point, Rachel, I don't want you giving them any information and it be right. And now you got a little, you got a head up on
Yep.
me then because Allison is my queen.
Mm-hmm.
Aegon is that's my rabbi. Like, I don't Aemon ain't fucking with me. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all of that sounds right. To continue on with Lord Laris, we see him, or we find out later on that he's been giving instruction to Grand Maester Orwyle.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, get this nigga up off his feet and get them limbs moving, get that body stretching. We got work to do.
Yeah.
Like, the longer he's laid up in bed, the more his brother reigns, and the worse it is for everybody involved. Um, what did you think about his secret lowborn meetings to to get Aegon back up on his feet?
Listen, I'm not surprised at him at all, because Grand Maester, although he knows Aegon is a fool, he knows Aemon One Eye is cruel. Okay. So he ain't really interested in him reigning. I think that Black Grand Maester would have
Mm-hmm.
loved it to be Rhaenyra, but the reality is, if I got to fool with both of these two people, I'm gonna take Aegon the cripple over Aemon One Eye, because at least Aegon one, he is the firstborn,
Mm-hmm.
and he's an idiot. And despite all of this happening, I think it changes him, but he can still be molded. Aemon is who Aemon is, with a lifetime of second son uh,
Trauma.
trauma. Yeah. So get that nigga out of here. Get, it's time for him to go. And so the fact that Grandmaster Orweiler is
Yeah,
even,
or a while, I think.
or Orwile
Yeah.
Blackmaster is even listening to Laris is crazy to me. But that's how desperate the rest of the fucking Red Keep is to get Aemon ass up out of here. Because also consider, the longer all of this is going on, we might live in the castle and be eating, but we got families who can't get no food.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is suffering, but us who happen to actually live here. Get Aegon ass up.
Yeah. We To your point, Rachel, we saw in that scene we just talked about with Laris and Ironrod,
Mhm.
we saw Aemon sending some knights to the wall,
The wall.
sparing their life and sending them to the wall because they assisted in the riot, helped in the riot, whatever. They stripped them of their white cloak and said, "You're gonna trade this in for a black one. You're going to the wall."
I don't think. What do you mean they assisted in the riot?
They remember when they were up there talking. When I say they, Ironrod and Laris, he said, "Well, they did assist in starting a riot. They did assist in a riot or something like that. Maybe they're being blamed for not having more control. I'm not sure what it was. Did I miss it? What's up?"
Those are the two niggas that was with Aegon in the brothel.
Those are the loser friends who got elevated because they homie. Okay, gotcha.
Send y'all
So
ass.
Amen really? Oh, that makes it even more diabolical. Amen ain't shit. I'm sending y'all the way just because you fuck with my brother.
Cause y'all was fucking with me in my uncut gym in the port
Mm-hmm.
in the pleasure house with my bitch. To the
Yeah,
wall you go.
shit ain't funny now, is it? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. Y'all ain't gonna see Nad pizza. Y'all ain't gonna see Nad pizza pussy up at the wall. Have fun.
He who laughs last.
Yeah. Yeah. The last time your last image of some is laughing at me. I just want you to
Yep,
have that in your brain forever.
there you go. There
You're
you
gonna
go.
die on that wall. Mm,
Bye.
that's crazy. Real
Oh,
quick, Niece. We talked about it briefly. Does Niece claim this stray dragon before the season ends?
I I think that Raina claims this dragon on the way to Pentos.
Well, let me ask you. So we see the doors closing. Lady Erin's closing the doors to the veil. They're
Mm-hmm.
headed to Pentos. We see Joffrey.
I
It
ain't like
looked
the
like Raina.
Raina.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
like. I don't like none of that. Like, it's cool. Don't. Hey, Raina said, don't worry about it because as soon as I get this dragon, guess where my first stop gonna be.
Period. Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting the dragons we gave you back because I don't
Period.
like the way you move.
Yeah.
Either way, it seemed like Raina veered off, and she's like, "I'm going to stay to find this dragon." I don't even
Yeah.
know if she's going to be with them going to Pentos. Do you think she tries to make her way, or is her search completely about finding this dragon who is out here in this area to see if I can claim it?
I felt like she tried to catch up, but I think she pulled something from the dragon. I don't want to call it a pit, but from their feeding.
The
So I
debris.
wonder, because we don't really know anything about dragons, but I wonder if there is like a memento, or not a memento, but some sort of quote unquote keepsake or something that they leave back after feeding, or something that like a siren song or something, but like a material, because she picked up something
Yeah.
and took it with her. So I think that's something to call the dragon to her, or not call
Mm.
necessarily, but to bring it to her. I think, but
Hmm.
I believe that she made her way. But I know that they took some of them dragon, or maybe they took the eggs with them, but left the two.
Maybe because that was part of the deal for her to get a dragon. My thing is, at some point, somebody's going to have to come to claim that dragon. Like you having a wild dragon in the veil, I guess that maybe that's just to keep people away. It's like a scarecrow in
Hmm.
a sense. Like even though we can't control it, maybe it can do something. I don't know, but we'll see how that works.
Very interesting, because she said, this is he does what he wants or whatever. So it's wild nonetheless. Them being in the veil, what can you do with it? What can you do with
That's
a wild dragon?
that's what I think is more so a protection. It's more so like it's. I never plan on using my gun, but
Hmm.
it's nice knowing that I have it if I need it. I think they view it like that.
Got it.
Even though like maybe one of those like they don't know that I can't control this motherfucker, but as long
But
as they
it's
have the illusion that
yeah.
I can, then that's
Hmm.
good enough.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming that's what they look at it as. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the Black Council and talk about what happened after Alan got back to Dragonstone, or do you want to go to Harrenhal and talk about the moment we shared there?
Because we've kind of already talked about Adam, let's do that and then go to Heron Hall. So we
Okay,
get back to the council and everybody like, okay, see Smoke got a rider, and everybody's pissed
everybody.
except for Corliss.
Lowborn, like I'm just gonna say it.
Mhm.
Lowborns are the equivalent of niggas.
Well, Adam is a nigga.
Not around my niggas. He can't. Um,
Well, you're dumb. You're dumb.
he a rich nigga though, so that's different.
Yeah,
He don't count, I
now,
guess.
mhm,
Yeah, it don't count. It don't count. He the Sammy Davis Jr. You
for
know,
sure, for sure. Um,
y'all can't be stealing dragons. Like what? All right, so let's paint the setting in this room, okay?
mhm,
I said it earlier. This is all still new to everyone.
yeah.
There is a certain procedure that comes with claiming a dragon. There's only certain people who can claim a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
What does this world look like? And this is what they're thinking at this council. What does this world look like if just average, regular, low-borns can go out here just claiming dragons?
And
Like,
this
we're
affects
all
you.
fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jace is salty. We'll talk about Jace and his saltiness a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Lord Corliss is kind of like, hey, that's my boy. You know what I
And
mean?
does he know yet who it is? I think he was kind of taken
He,
aback. I think he had an inkling because of the Valerian blood.
he knew that whoever it is, they're employed to you,
Mm-hmm.
but he did not know who it was at that time.
Yeah.
And then when he walked by the room and saw him, that's when he found out and well done.
Yeah.
But obviously everybody's salty about it, Jace included. And then we had Masaria and Rhaenyra. We already talked about this briefly. Masaria kind of chuckled, like, look, forgive me, but it doesn't matter what century, it doesn't matter what world, it doesn't matter what galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
if it's reality, if it's the metaverse, niggas gonna have them side babies, man.
That
Like, it
part.
just happens that niggas
That's
just
what
gonna have them
happened.
side babies. And she, as one who's worked in those houses and lived a rough life, you silly as hell. She knows better than anybody. Like,
Yeah.
check the places where you shouldn't be checking. The
Right.
people you're looking for aren't going to be in these andals.
Mm-mm.
Nowhere found. They're not claimed. But
Yep.
trust me, you have relatives. You have half siblings all over King's Landing. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm. We'll get there. Shout
Yeah.
out, shout out to Masseria for all of that, for setting Rhaenyra straight. I get.
And I was gonna say real quick, Rachel, and Rhaenyra is still fighting with this idea and talking about like who should be riding the dragon. And Masaria is the one that tells her, like, listen, you can talk all this pure blood and all this shit you want to, but look at who is attacking you for your throne.
Yep.
So what good is that going to do anybody? You might as well take this chance and search
Yep.
for these
Yep.
low-born folks that might be your people, that might be able to ride these dragons.
Mm-hmm. And ride for you.
And ride for you, absolutely.
I don't trust you. We'll get there.
I do. I fuck with you. I will say this. Here's the one thing that really bothered me in this episode. And when I say really bothered me, it almost seemed like I'm watching a different show. There's a difference, and we talked about this before when we got y'all. There's a difference between prestige television and just some shit to watch, right? The idea of Corliss going to Alan, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I need this message. I need you to get some ships, pay whatever. We need to get some ships to King Landing on behalf of the Queen. To find the handmaiden, to spread this message all over King's Landing. I'm sorry. It felt a little bit far-fetched to me.
That he would be the one to do that.
Not even that he's the one to do that, just the whole plan in itself. Like, we're just going to sail these ships. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. It just seemed a little bit far-fetched. And what I mean by that is, we know y'all, we beefing. You would think that King's Landing would have a high patrol of what's coming in and out. I'm still wondering how they even got that food there.
Because it's not going into the main place. Like, it's over the Blackwater, not.
You don't think they got that covered? Are they on that? They slipping on their game? Are we just letting people out? Like, I thought the city was locked down. How did they get out?
I don't know.
The same way I got out the crib when I was 16, huh?
And pretty much. But consider those other the knights that Aemon fucked with are the knights who were with the White Cloaks, who were with Aegon in the pleasure house. But remember, there are knights or people essentially helping Aelinda and the barkeep girl get their messages throughout. So I will only assume that there are people, even if you can't open a gate, it's a back way out, which is what I would assume where that food went to, which is the back way, because everybody's trying to get out the front. You really ain't probably men in the back, or it's a weak ass security. Like,
That's a now you brought up a good point. I completely forgot about the fact that in the mayhem of all of this, no matter how much I disliked it, it made sense because all you need is some people on the inside.
that's
And they
it.
had that. They
Hmm.
had people with they had the knights bringing it to her door directly,
Hmm.
navigating, moving and shaking because they know they're not going to get questioned. They can just
Exactly.
make up any kind of excuse. I got to go do this real quick. Prince Regent
Exactly.
said to do this, and I'm
Exactly.
cool. Nobody's asking me anything. So, especially on the city lockdown, nobody's asking me shit because
Right.
I'm the one they trust.
Right.
Great point, Rachel. Before we get to Heron Hall,
Hmm.
let's just talk real quick, or we can wait. I want to talk about Jason Rhaenyra.
Okay, let's talk about Jason Rhaenyra. He's sick of her shit. This the first time I seen Jace throw a temper tantrum. A for
This
real
is
one. Because he been trying her all season. But this
he
one was
been
the one.
he's been trying her like the all right. So he's been trying her like the 10, 11-year old
Hmm.
that you smelling yourself, but you can still get a whooping.
Yeah,
And you
for
still gonna
sure.
cry from that whooping.
For sure.
Now he's at the point where I'm 16, them shits don't hurt no more. Like you
Hmm.
gonna hear me. Like Jason's really feeling himself.
Damn
And
sure.
more importantly, you said what?
You damn
Oh.
sure don't listen. Shout out to this Christmas.
Shout out to this Christmas. Shout out to baby. Um, but what happened that was stunning to not stunning, but I'd never seen really in the Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon world. I'm acknowledging the fact that I'm a bastard.
Hmm.
I love to see that, not because it was entertaining, but because it was real. Like it was the worst kept secret, and we tried to walk around it like it
Mm.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
And he was bold enough to say, "Did you think I'd have black hair? Like when you took Sir Harwin Strong, which is woo, talking to
It's,
your mom like that is crazy. When you took Sir Harwin Strong into your bed, did you think that I would have black hair? Like, do
mm.
you know?" And I think that was his way of crying out. Do you know what type of life that I've had to live
Yeah.
with people calling me bastards since I was a child? Remember, Rhaenyra told Massaria earlier in the episode, like since they were boys,
Hmm.
like they've been calling my sons bastard. Well, let's raise an army of bastards.
Yeah.
Jason's looking at it like, look, I hear you. I know you want to win this war. The throne is important to you, and I'm your heir, so it's important to me. But what's it going to take? What happens if you die in all of this?
Jace got a point.
Got a hell of a point because this is how easily, if you do this, if you let anybody who might possibly, we don't even know if these folks can ride a dragon or
Hmm.
claim a dragon. If you let all these high, lowborn, small folks to try it out and it works,
Hmm.
then what's the point of my me being an heir? Like, what
Because
are people gonna say about me?
Silverwing and Vermithor are bigger than his dragon.
Yeah, like
Well,
what happens if they try to usurp us?
hmm.
Like on some real shit. Like I'm not. I can't say here. I can't stand here with a straight face and say I'm 100% Targaryen because I'm not. I know I'm not.
Hmm.
Even though I'm supposed to be. Even though I'm Laenor's son. Air
Hmm.
quotes. He had a hell of a point.
I felt like that was a foreshadowing and a foreboding of what is to come with these lowborns. We've already established it. Um, we'll talk about Ulf and Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh is the one. Hugh, I don't like him. I don't trust him.
I gotta hear. I gotta hear why. I gotta understand why.
Okay. Is that all on Jace?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like I said, the legitimacy of it. I just thought it was an interesting conversation.
He's
Just
got a
like
point.
a big thing right now is people are buying those cyber trucks.
Those are so
I
dumb.
don't. I'm not a fan of the cyber truck in general, but
Hmm.
obviously we know how it is. People like to stunt,
For sure.
but when you the first person to have it, that's the stunt.
Yeah.
Afterwards, not everybody got their own cyber truck. They doing their own modifications to it. It's not a big deal anymore. Nobody cares. Get this off the timeline. We've seen it
Yeah.
already. That's
Yeah.
what Jason's pretty much saying. Like, my value is going down if you let these niggas come in and try to ride these dragons.
For
Like,
sure.
I might. They're just as easily the air as iron. That's
So,
all I got to say.
which leads us into Hugh and my disdain for him and mistrust. So, Corliss makes the call to go bring these bastards here. We learned when Hugh was talking to his wife, and I'm assuming the daughter is dead, right?
Yes, they couldn't because they mentioned that he couldn't save his
He
daughter.
couldn't save his daughter. He couldn't keep his daughter alive. If I can claim this dragon, we'll never want again.
Nigga, we made it.
So there's already not just uh fuck the greens, but now I have another motive for wanting to be in power. He tells the story of his mother, who was a silver haired Targaryen who worked in the pleasure house, who had freedom and they paid her more because who doesn't want to fuck a silver haired woman? Who is Hugh's mother? None other than Sarah. Who is Sarah? Jaehaerys's daughter. Who are Sarah's siblings? Or who is one of her brothers? Balon. Who are Balon's children? Daemon and Viserys.
Mm-hmm.
He has a direct claim and the biggest dragon after Vagar.
Mm.
Jace has a hell of a point. I have somebody, he's in the pit, ain't scared, ain't got no hoe in him because he's had to live a hard life with a whore mother. Whoever threw that, your mama's a hoe, him. Him with the whole mama. Him with the whole mama is now down here, albeit dirty, silvered haired, a little salt and pepper haired. Jace ain't got that.
Mm-mm.
The people know who Hugh Mama is, whether his wife knew or not. But she might be a little younger. But the people who know. Jaehaerys, the Great King, that's my grandpa too. Just like Rhaenys, that's my same cousin. Just like she was Daemon and Viserys' cousin. We all in line. And had my mother, Sarah was banned. It was another daughter and a whole bunch of other shit. Y'all can look it up if y'all know. But Jaehaerys, because Sarah was out there prostituting, Jaehaerys would not let her come home. One of the other daughter died. The mama begged Jaehaerys, please let me bring my whore daughter home. This nigga said no. She's for the streets. So now, fuck the greens. But the reality is, you have an ought against my family, your family, but you didn't get the chance to live the life. You had to be raised in a whorehouse with a whole mama, despite knowing full well that you are a Targaryen. And he said, my mother said, you're no different than my brother's sons. So despite me being raised here, I'm really not low born. My mama's motherfucking Princess Sarah. I'm mad at y'all. My daughter is dead. I ain't had no power. I had to grow up, not as a second son, but the trauma of having a whore mother. And now I got the second biggest dragon in the kingdom. Trouble. I'ma fuck with you, Rhaenyra. I'm still mad at Aegon. He promised me some food. My daughter probably would have lived if y'all would have paid us. I could have bought some food before all the food was out from the blockade. I ain't had shit. She eating this fucking fish broth, dead to the bed. Now I got the biggest dragon on your side. Trouble.
Rachel.
Yo.
You're really fucking good at this.
I don't like this nigga. I have not liked him since we saw him in the Iron Throne room. The first time we saw him, I have not liked him.
I'm not gonna hold you. Not once since the Iron Throne room have I ever had any kind of doubt or concern about Hugh. Never
Mm-hmm.
once did I look at him as a threat. But the
Mm-hmm.
way you just broke that down makes complete sense. That lets you know I wouldn't unless I get on my shit. I wouldn't survive long in Westeros because
I
you on
know
your
these niggas. I
you on
reminded
your
you a long time. I know these niggas.
yeah you on some Lord Varys Littlefinger level of like you know how to
Bruh,
play the game.
bruh. And
Somebody need to have you as counsel.
I've been trying to avoid the spoilers. I ain't looked at no book shit, but I did when he said his mother was in the pleasure house. I said, "Who mama was a hoe?" Sarah.
Mm, that
Hey.
was incredible. That was incredible by you.
So
And
somebody, probably Jordan asked, you read the books. Fill us in the comments.
right, yeah,
Don't
Jordan
tell
can
us,
hit us
but
up and
like
let us know.
fill in the story. You know?
Yeah, yeah, she mentioned something. Yeah, them books is like
Yeah, I
studying for
agree.
the SAT.
Mhm.
Um, wow. Okay, well said. I can't. You're
It's
right.
tricky.
Now and just that quickly, I'm looking at Hugh different. I hope that he's a good guy.
I don't know.
But we're gonna see.
You see the way he
And
pushed that nigga about them carrots and lettuce when they still was out
yeah,
there. He could have just went to the ship. It
nah,
was
bro, that's
still
too far. That's too far of a walk, my nigga. I need this now. I need guarantee.
there. It
I
was
need
still
guarantee. I'm going way too long without food. I need guarantee, nigga. I know you got it, and I'm taking yours. That
he's a
nigga Debo, that man,
he's a desperate man. Like I told
man, oh
y'all,
man.
praise this when you like Quavo told y'all and praise this. When you desperate, you'll do anything. The morals of sketch.
We'll come back to the actual claiming of a dragon.
Yeah, get to
Let's
hear
take
him.
let's take a trip over to Heron Hall, which I'm glad we only got one, maybe two scenes if you can combine them.
Hmm.
We didn't spend a lot of time in Heron Hall, but the time we did spend there was very it was well spent. It was
Yeah.
well spent. I appreciated the scene. Listen, let me tell you something real quick. Lord Tully, he gonna be something. He gonna be all right.
Shout out to Oscar the Grouch Tully,
He gonna be all right.
big
He
ball.
know what's up. Big. Hey, listen.
Hmm.
Stop playing. Stop playing. So we know that Damon summoned him. Pretty
Yeah.
much said, "Get your ass over here to Harren Hall."
Hmm.
We know Lord Tully is now Lord Paramount because of Alice Rivers and
Hmm.
her sorcery, getting Grover up out of here.
Hmm.
Lord Tully said, "Look, I'm green, not Team Green, but I'm green. I don't know what I'm doing. I
Hmm.
don't really got the hang of all this. But what I do know is that you foul as hell. And I got
Yeah.
these River Lords with me per your request, but I don't know if I can just say that they're gonna be on your side. Um, we're held together, and I thought about this line when I thought about Black Maester, when I thought
Hmm.
about Larius.
Hmm.
How did everything get so far away? This is rhetorical, of course, but how did we get so far away from these oaths and the honor and the value of things? Because it used to be like my king says something, I'm gonna do what my king says. You would never catch anybody like the Maester going behind Aemon's back and trying to get Aegon healthy. The
Yeah.
Riverlands are a different breed. We're still held together by oaths. Whether I like it or I don't, this is how we operate. This is how we're able to move as a unit. I don't fuck with you, Damon,
Yeah.
but we're gonna honor these oaths. And my grandsire said that he bent the knee to Rhaenyra.
Hmm.
So in relation, that means he bent the knee to you
Yeah.
as her king consort.
Yep.
We down with y'all, but that doesn't mean that I can call my banners to fight due to your behavior. I'm just gonna let you know right now. The River Lords are outside. Damon's talking about, hey, let's get a fresh start. What's the past is the past. Let's bury the hatchet. Let's get to a fresh start. Why don't y'all join me? I need an army. We're gonna take down the Greens. We're gonna take over the throne. It's gonna be all good. And why don't you follow that tradition? Damon is talking to him. Follow that tradition that you rave about and raise that banner to me. We see Sir William Blackwood.
Yeah.
The people are speaking, and they say, listen, what you did was wrong. It was
Yeah.
foul.
Yeah.
Tully was talking greed to the Damon too, which I loved.
I loved it. I loved it.
Telling him my prince, like, watch your tongue. That nigga walked up on him, nigga, do you want my army or not?
He said,
Shut the
"You've made
fuck up.
a mess."
Yeah, you made a mess, bro. And it's either apologize for your wrongdoing and atone it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what you got to do. There's only one way. He told him up front, there's only one way.
Yep.
Like, only one. You got to take this nigga out. And I love what he told Sir William Blackwood. Even if that came from your king,
Yep. You did it
you
because you
you
wanted to.
you didn't have to carry it out.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, what your mama used to say back in the day, if all your friends jump off the bridge, you gonna jump off there too?
Yep.
You
Yep.
didn't have to do it. You did it because you wanted to, because y'all beef runs so deep,
Mm-hmm.
centuries and centuries, that as soon as he mentioned something about doing some inhumane shit to him, he was down.
Way to go. Yep. He's
He
absolutely
was
right.
down with it. What do you think about Sir William Blackwood? I'm good. Damon's the one that told me to do it. And Damon, nah.
He ain't know. This is the thing. Everybody know Damon, but don't nobody know Damon. Damon is only, except for Alice and Rhaenyra
Mm-hmm.
and Mysteria. You got to be a bitch to know Damon, a woman to know Damon. Damon is only loyal to Damon. You see, he out here on his own accord, going behind the back of his wife, his third wife. He killed the first wife in cold blood.
Mm-hmm.
He let Lena die. She was begging this nigga. He was only loyal to his own claim. He wanted to be wherever castle they was at, living well. She like, get me the fuck up out of here. I want to go to Dragonstone. And he didn't do it. So much so, she was in so much grief that she killed herself. And now you going behind Rhaenyra back. Ain't no honor amongst thieves, baby. And Damon is a thief. And William Blackwell, I don't know if he was just wanting to have favor with the king. Maybe he thought Rhaenyra would look kindly on it because he remembers her fondly. You know, he wanted her at some point or was about to be paired with her, whether he wanted
Mm-hmm.
her or not. And also, to Lord Grover Tully's point, or Oscar Tully's point,
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to do that shit.
You
You
wanted to.
hate us. You did it, and you did it with no qualms, no remorse. You talked about it last week or whenever, maybe the week before. You know, it's a Sunday truce. Women and
Mm-hmm.
children have children. I mean, women and children are off the
Off
table.
limits.
Off
Yeah.
limits. You did that shit anyways. You had no regard. So you gotta get what's coming. And I believe that Willem Blackwell, because he don't even know Damon like that, Sir Simon Strong know Damon like that.
Oh, that nigga said, oh dear.
Oh dear. He really thought Damon was gonna have his back. No, baby. Mm-mm.
Damon
Mm-mm.
didn't even hesitate. That was an easy decision for Damon. Easy decision. Army or kill this nigga.
Or
I'm
kill
gonna
this.
take the army
Take
every
them.
single time.
But the crazy, I don't even necessarily want to call it crazy, but I'm very curious as to how this goes because Oscar Tully was very clear about, yeah, you've raised an army, King Consort, but this army is for Rhaenyra.
I was
And
just about to say,
we know Damon's plan. Baby, they're not fighting for you. They hate you.
listen, I was just about to say, Rachel, it's like in Drumline. I was throwing for A&T. Like, I wasn't helping you.
That
You feel
part.
me? Like, we're not helping you, bro. Like, this isn't about you. This is for our queen.
This is for our queen, King
Like, you speak
Consort.
on her, yes, you speak on her behalf, so we telling you, but this army is not for you. I don't know why you keep saying that, bro.
Yep. Yep. And he
And
ain't getting it.
that nigga little Oscar Tully walked up to that nigga for real and said, hey man, you want this army or not? Oh, you do? Well, shut the fuck up and let me finish my speech.
Bruh.
Bullied that nigga. I love it. I love it, man. Shout out to Oscar Tully. Shout out to Oscar Tully, man. All right.
Sorry, I'm having a
We
coffee.
are. Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, before we leave Harrenhal, I guess it's important to talk about Damon. Once that's over, he's back in the halls and he has another vision where he sees his brother, King
Yeah.
Viserys, the peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
and just another. And they've been doing this all season, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. Just another example of, hey, are you sure that you want
Mm-hmm.
this crown? I never wanted it. It crushes whoever wears it.
Mm-hmm.
You always wanted it. Do you want it still? That's been the big theme throughout this entire, not just this season, this entire series for Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's right there. Like, are you going to make this choice? Are you going to go against your wife slash queen slash niece
Yeah.
and try to claim this throne for yourself? Because we know you all. We all know you want it.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it, bro. I'm trying to tell you right now, it ain't worth it. But we'll see what he does.
Can we talk about how much Damon has aged since he's been in Harrenhal?
Damon, the fact that Damon doesn't know it's been time to get up out of there. Like Damon looking like when they started posting those photos of Drake after the beef, and you just look at him like, oh, this nigga look like he been going through it. He looks like he been going
Oh
through it, right?
Lord.
Damon looks like he looks like what he's been going through.
He looks like he's struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get out of there, bro. Like it's just no different than not even that. Like even just basic humanity. Like I personally, Rachel, I know you're the same way. Like there's something about your house just being clean, like your
Yeah.
space being clean, your
Yeah.
area it's not cluttered.
Yeah.
Like everything new, like you got the fresh sheets on the bed, like the sink, the dishes all put up. Like, bro, your whole house is a wreck. This shit falling apart. Like, get out of here. What are you doing?
Get out of there, man. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
man, you don't even like eating. You don't even like eating the food over here. I don't even know if you eating, my
Ain't
nigga.
you eating the food.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, ride out. Like, Harry and Hall, you ain't. Don't see what's going on at home. Answer one of these ravens,
Bruh. Lord Broom still ain't made it to Harrenhal. What?
bro. He got to be coming next episode, right? He
He
got
got
to be coming next
when
episode.
Mira comes next episode in the preview. It looks like she
Yeah.
taking her ass to Harrenhal. Go get this nigga.
Yeah, go get this nigga, man. Because there's no point. There's no point of having Sir Broom show up in season 3. Like, nigga, we
Yeah.
done been forgot about your voyage.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, nah, damn it, get your ass on. That's when
That's
when you take the kid by his ear, just drag him out. That's what
that's how
Damon
you gotta
needs.
get him up out of there. So
All right, we only got one more topic to talk about, Rachel.
yep. How to claim a dragon.
How to claim a dragon. Rhaenyra welcomes the potential dragon riders, the dragon keepers. Speaking of High Valyrian,
Peace, bitch.
I don't know. I don't know what High Valyrian is for. You got me fucked up. But
Whatever
that's
they
pretty much whatever they were saying was it. Like, this is blasphemy. You've already brought one person in here. You seen what happened to him. Now you
and we
bringing him
lost
by the.
another tamer because of that shit.
You lost another tamer. You bringing this shit by the dozens. This is the last. This is the last magic of old Valyria.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not something. These aren't playthings for you humans.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Why are all these people here? Like, we out. You doing this shit by yourself. We're not about to sit here and witness this. And they're
Yep.
speaking of High Valyrian. This is. We've been here before. We know how this stuff goes. Like, what you're doing is an abomination.
Do you think they only speak High Valyrian? Or do they speak English too?
I think they speak English too. I wouldn't
Okay.
be surprised if they only spoke High Valyrian.
I thought about that, but then when I think about last season, they were speaking to her in English when they were with the kids. So yeah, they speak English. Okay.
Which actually, now that you say that, I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't say it in English to let these other people know. Like, I don't like y'all do this shit if you want to. I'm telling you, just a couple days ago, we had another nigga try this shit. They got
That's
burnt
still
the
the
fuck up.
queen. That's still the queen. Cyrax's still back there. So even if Vermithor and Silverwing ain't listening to her, if she say, "Hey, get these niggas," since they're being disrespectful, everybody knows she done smacked the other nigga last week. So no, they gonna
Yeah,
say it in High Valyrian because that's still the
yeah, you're right.
queen.
You're
We
right.
gonna
You're
keep
right.
your
You're right.
secret, bitch.
That's right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I had no idea this was even possible, but here we are.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a speech that Queen Rhaenyra is giving these people. I'm gonna tell y'all, like I told Sir Darkland, y'all try this at your own risk. Like, this is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
You can make a new life for yourself. You can make a new life for everyone around you. We got
Mhm.
2 dragons, y'all. I feel like this is like when Charlie was looking for them golden tickets. We got 2 left. I don't know
Yeah.
which one of y'all. I don't know if any of y'all are gonna be able to claim these dragons. But if y'all want to give it a shot, I've said everything I could. It's between you and the dragon now. And we see
Mhm.
Sea Smoke, excuse me, Vermithor. See
Yeah.
Vermithor come from out the trenches. They set
Mhm.
it up perfectly when she let us know he's the second oldest dragon,
Mhm.
second largest,
Yes.
probably the most fierce
Mhm.
behind Vagar.
And you get this to a stranger, nigga. Mm.
That's the part
Mm.
when Hugh claimed Vermithor and he was looking up at Rhaenyra, part of me was thinking to myself, like, I bet Rhaenyra wishes like she could swap it out. Like, maybe not, because it's a real bond between you and the dragon. That's like a thing that you don't take for granted. But at the same time, I need the biggest dragon. Like, I can't. That's like giving the biggest gun to a stranger,
For
and they
sure.
turn right up. Like,
And also consider Vermithor is a stray dragon too.
who knows?
David
Yeah.
lured him into their keep, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't no chance for her because she's already with Cyrax, and that's been her dragon since she was a kid. That's blood in, blood out. But yeah, you done gave big dog
So,
to stranger
so I just
people.
thought about this. So I want to ask. I want to just try to poke a little bit of hole into your Hugh theory.
Hmm.
The only reason Hugh. All right. Well, damn it, Rachel. Fuck me up.
Mm.
So I'm changing this. I'm in real time. I just had a realization because of what you
Okay.
said. So as I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, Hugh claimed Vermithor from an act of bravery.
Hmm.
He had this woman that was with him.
Hmm.
He sees Vermithor over there. He pushes her out the way. Now, since you said what you said, I'm thinking it from the sense of, was it courageous? Because the first thing he said was, "I'm ready."
He was ready
Like,
to
did
die.
he want to? Did he want? Was he ready to die? Was he ready? I took now that I'm thinking about you and what you said,
Hmm.
I'm taking that as I'm ready to claim your ass, not to die. I'm ready to claim your ass. Just in case this woman might be your rider, I'm gonna push her ass out the way. I want to be the one to say, "Hey, I'm ready."
Fair.
I
Could be.
I thought it was courageous though. I thought he was really trying to save that woman and say, take me instead. But now you got me fucked up a little bit in the head.
I felt like, yes, I want to claim this dragon. I want to see, but also for me that, ooh, I didn't even think of that. All of that, I didn't think of that. I'm ready to be. I'm
Because
ready
look,
to
think about
claim because I want my life changed. I
think
felt
about what he told his wife. Like that, when you think about that and say, look, our whole life can change, nigga. We up.
yeah,
He was
but
ready
see,
for that dragon.
but also for me because he wasn't raised in King's Landing, um, because Sarah, she wasn't tricking in King's Landing. She was tricking somewhere else. Like
Mhm.
they sent her the fuck away. Um, so I don't think that he really a dragon is a dragon is a dragon is a dragon. But this is for me everybody's first time really seeing what these motherfuckers can do up close. Cause it's been peace in the realm for 80 years. So they chilling. You don't really know. So I felt that I'm ready as nigga. Fuck it. I'm ready to die too. Cause
Come
my daughter is
on.
dead. My
That
wife
nigga
ain't
said,
got no money. She could go to her brother house and be all right. It's just me. I've lived a depressed life. Maybe it was a suicide ideation as well. Like, hey, fuck it.
he did give out that war cry like he was ready to die. Come
that,
on,
that typical.
bring it.
Yeah. Come on,
Yeah,
asshole.
yeah. Y'all know how to get down. Um, nah, that's Hugh. Damn.
Tricky.
I'm not going to look up Hugh. I
I
want to. I want to.
hope
I want to do a deep dive into Hugh, but I'm not going to do it. I just want to kind of let the story play out how it's going to
yeah.
play out. But very interesting. But yeah, Hugh claimed Vermithor, huge gain.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, not just for him, but for Queen Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
We see Ulf, and we saw Ulf earlier in the episode,
Mm-hmm.
at his stomping grounds with his cronies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, word on the street is Rhaenyra's looking for dragon riders. You've been telling us for as long as I've known you,
And drink it for free.
drinking for free because of this story. And
Mm-hmm.
now you nutting up. Now you talking about you don't know if it's true. Like, bruh, you will never live this down. He didn't even go because he wanted to. He went because I can't show my face around here if
Yep.
I don't go after all these drinks I done got. And they might fuck around and kill me.
Yep.
Like we all broke right now. Like I'm thinking about I
You put
need
in
that
your
money.
tab.
Shout out to T. I need that money. Like I need that shit right now. And all I'm thinking about right now is all the drinks I done bought your ass. You better take your ass over to Dragonstone
And
and see
see.
if you can
Mm-hmm.
and see. And obviously he don't want no parts of it. He running and he stumbles into Silverwing.
Yeah. Did he step on a dragon egg or on the thing that encases an egg? That's what I couldn't figure out.
I think it was in what encases an egg.
Okay.
Either way, I was surprised because I figured that Silverwing, if that was an egg, Silverwing probably would have burnt his ass up.
Right.
Like
Or
any other animal with their young or their eggs, like they don't play about that.
yeah.
Wasn't 100% sure what it was he stepped in, but I didn't think it was going to be a dragon egg.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless it wasn't silverwing egg.
mhm. I don't know. That's a great question. I do think that for everything else that we've seen the past 2 weeks, if I want to nitpick this episode,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little bit too easy for Ulf just to get this dragon. Like stumbled
Yeah.
into it, I get it, but there was no type of intimidation. It did. I not once did Silverwing. Even the first time she made contact, she just kind of batted him. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's different from what we've seen, which made me think. And when we're starting to learn, because obviously we talked about the jokes with Sea Smoke last week, these dragons do have their own personality,
Sure.
and it made
Sure.
me wonder. I wonder if Silverwing's a goofy like Ulf,
That's what I'm about to
like just
say. Silverwing must play all day.
yeah, just a goofy ass dragon like Ulf, and they just work for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the dragon, that you find each other. It's a mutual thing. Like they know what they're doing, and you got to trust it. So, and we saw him riding the dragon, and obviously we end this episode um with Team Green, where we have news that Lord Otto was moving slow. We sent
Mm-hmm.
word, but he's surrounded pretty much. Like they ain't really coming in and out of there right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know when he gonna arrive. Your brother's dragon, Tasarian.
Has to
So
take it away.
Darren's dragon, he's taking wings, so he's gonna be ready to fight in the war. All of a sudden, the city is shouting, whole lot of hoopla.
Mm-hmm.
Aemon's trying to listen, but like, nah, fuck this. Let me open these doors and see what's going on. He sees the dragon flying. He goes get Vagar's old ass. He goes to follow Sea Smoke, or excuse me, to Silverwing, and then ends up getting near Dragonstone and finally says, hold on, buddy.
Which
No Vagar.
they're across the street from each other.
They're not across the street from each other at all.
It's huh?
I said, no, they're not. You said they are?
Yeah, King's Landing and Dragonstone is like this. It's just across the water.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's literally like living on the other side of the lake. It's not far at all. That's why it was easy to get that food. It ain't have to go far overnight into to make it by the morning. Like it's
Makes
right
sense.
there. I looked
Makes
at it. I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Duh. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Absolutely. But he sees Queen Rhaenyra with them 3 dragons behind her.
Bruh.
Step nigga, what's up? Pull up if you
Stomping
want to.
big dogs.
Yeah. Aemon was like, nah, buddy, we got to turn this thing around. But now Aemon knows what they got going on. He knows those dragons are with them. And obviously that sets us up for the season finale, which will take place this upcoming Sunday.
Did Rhaenyra tell off to go over there, or was Alf off fucking off?
I'd have to say that Ulf was fucking off. I'm glad you asked that because I had that down to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
How did Ulf even get over there? And the only reason I say he did it on his own is because I couldn't imagine, especially after Rhaenyra's interaction with Alan or Adam, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm new to this. Like, teach me the way of a dragon rider. I don't think she would have sent them over there.
Yeah.
Brand new. She would have sent Jake to somebody over there.
She might not even known you got this goddamn dragon yet.
That's another good point. She might not even know. But even if she did, she would have said, like, hey, let's go ahead and play the decoy. Fire Jace
Yeah.
Baylor, fire your dragons over King's Landing. Let's lure, Damon out. Let them see what we got going on. Even though the better strategy really is to not let him know nothing. Like,
Right.
let's pop up in war with all these dragons, and niggas looking like, oh shit. Now they got the intel. Now they can try to plan accordingly forward. Like we mentioned, to Sarnians in motion. So that's another dragon for them. We don't know what's going on with Caraxes because Damon, we don't know that's going to be the biggest thing. I think that's going to be the main one of the big focuses of the finale. I think is what's going on with Damon. Like you can't spend season 3 in Harrenhal.
Bruh.
You got to come back, or you got to make your move, whatever it is. Whatever it is. But I'm looking forward to what I think is going to be an incredible finale.
Yeah, I'm excited for next week.
I'm excited for next week.
Yeah. I was like, despite me not loving this episode, obviously there was still a lot to talk about. But I think I was just expecting more. I think I had that penultimate anticipation built up, and I kind of was let down.
Yeah, same. I get it. If they didn't have any dragons, it really would have been a letdown. But it was dragon heavy. I get it. I understand. Not their best work. Like I said, it's not a 9.1 to me, but it is still a good episode. It falls in line with all the other good episodes of House of the Dragon. I'm hoping next week is the best episode of the season / series. I don't know how much battle we get. I just know there's a lot of conversations that need to be had, that should be had next week, and we get a lot of revelations about what's going on in this world, and we'll see what happens from there.
In the preview, Eamon asks Helena, tells Helena, hey, I need you on a dragon.
Oh, okay. So shout out to Jordan. Jordan mentioned that the show was taking a different storyline with that because Helena pretty much retired from Dragon Riding after what happened with Jacaerys.
Yeah.
Like I'm cool on all of that. So she never really, Jordan can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she told me that she never took flight on Dragon again.
Okay.
So she said that scene of that preview, she said that's not in the books. So that's a whole different little angle.
Or he asked her and she give him her ass to kiss.
Yeah, because man, you send Helena out there to die.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, come on. Stop it, bro. What you doing? Like, stop it.
Wasn't worth it.
Yeah, man. What are we talking about? But that's it, Rachel. That's it. We covered it all. You got anything else to say before we talk about the finale next week?
No. Thank y'all for hanging with us. Next week, we ready. I'm ready. Season 2, episode 8 of House of the Dragon, streaming on Max. Listen to us on Apple Pods. Watch us on YouTube. Also listen on Spotify if you are not Team Apple.
Absolutely. Like, subscribe, comment, rate. We will read your comment in the next week's episode.
Yeah.
It's been a fun ride. We have one more before we move on to the next thing. But Rachel, as you know, love you.
I love you.
Always a pleasure. And for everybody out there listening, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Never forget, we got y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Peace out.